Hey guys, welcome back to Angela. And on this topic, I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about narcissists and battle of the sexes. Battle of the sexes, because a lot of times we don't even understand how we end up with narcissists. All we know is that they're playing a game and they're getting off on the fact that we're not up on game, right? When it comes to the games that are being played, we have no clue what's going on. We literally have to find out the hard way. We're an easy target. That's how they look at it. They look at it like, you're bound to not, you're bound to not listen. You're bound, you need someone that needs to control you because you're codependent. You need someone to control you. We like people that we can control, that we can exploit. We can ask questions and get in your business and have you open up. And no matter how tough you try to act, I know under that tough exterior, you're not as tough as you try to be. That's how the narcissist views you. A lot of times when you're an empath, you'll be codependent, or you'll have people in your life, or even narcissist parents who they want you to follow the rules. They want you to follow their rules, right? You almost test them, or you might do everything that they ask of you, right? And now you're in battle with your other siblings. Who's perfect? Who's the best? And if you're not at the center of attention, right? Because now you stop doing what they asked of you. Now you get into relationships with narcissistic people. They're telling you, you are who your friends are, and you don't believe it. You're like, no, you're stubborn. You're stubborn. And then years later, when you're an adult, you think back and you're like, my parents were right about those friends, but you were codependent of your parents some way, somehow. And then you decided, hey, I don't want to listen to nobody. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to learn my own ways. I'm going to learn what life is about. And you can learn a lot of information, but there are some things you just don't want to hear. That's why when it comes to the battle of the sexes, you're an easy play. Remember, when I said the narcissist almost views it as they're playing you, they're playing a game. While they're playing the game, they're looking at it like you think you're playing, but you're not even playing. Haha. I got you on, I don't know. I'm not a gamer, you guys, so help me out. When that other player is, thinking they're playing, but they're actually playing against the android, the artificial intelligence, right? You're thinking you're playing and the remote control's not even attached. You're not even connected to the game. That's crazy. You're not even connected to the game. So that's why the narcissist chooses you as, in the battle of the sexes. Think about all the times people warned you about the narcissist. You didn't want to listen. But guess what? You're the golden child. They listened. They didn't have to get burnt. They listened. You went from being the one that listens all the time to now you don't listen, and then you put more trust into the narcissist. No matter how narcissistic, let's be real, some of y'all don't even want to hear it, but no matter how narcissistic your family was, at least with mine, it was nothing worse than what the narcissist did to me. For real, for real. So to me, and at the end, I ended up with nobody. You know what I'm saying? And it was the hardest thing I had to go through to accept that I was codependent of the wrong person. And not only that, but I didn't want to hear the truth. I thought I knew everything, right? I didn't want to hear the truth. The truth was too painful. When people are telling you the narcissist doesn't love you, leave them, you're wasting your time, blah, 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 right? You don't want to believe it. You're like, no, no, no. You think you know everything. You don't accept constructive criticism. That was the hardest part I had to accept was, dang, I couldn't accept, constructive criticism, because even if I accept the criticism, right? And I'm like, okay, I accept the criticism. Maybe just because you might have not been aware of what you were doing wrong, right? So you accept. That's the difference between you and the narcissist, is that you will accept it. You will learn. The narcissist will know the right thing and they'll still keep going against it. You'll accept the constructive criticism, right? But a part of you almost feels like you're being picked on, because you might have felt like, that constructive criticism was reminding you of your parents or your upbringing and how much control those people had over you and how much you fought to get out of that control, no matter what it was. It could have been church, it could have been anything. You fought so hard to get out of that control. So even when you take constructive criticism, it's like you accept it, it's wrong, you did something wrong and now you're learning from it, you know what I'm saying? But it's almost like you want to play the victim, you know what I'm saying? And that's why you get trauma bonded with the narcissist, even though you're not capable of doing the type of evil that they'll do. It's the fact that you could be just as stubborn, right? Just as the narcissist is stubborn, and they'll use you, they'll use your kindness, you're the giver in the relationship. They'll also be stubborn and they'll go and be nice to people who don't really give a damn about them to impress them. They'll do more for them, and you'll be like, oh, they don't care about you. They don't do nothing for you. You're wondering why they're being nicer to other people, and you're even telling them sometimes the things that are going to come about. You're teaching them certain things. So because you are teaching the narcissist certain things, you almost feel like they owe you something, like, oh, I'm so smart, right? They owe me something because there's certain things that they have that you don't have, and then certain things that you have that they don't have. That's why it's battle of the sexes, because they're going back and forth with you. You're basically like, hey, but I'm a woman, you know what I'm saying? I get targeted. And the narcissist is kind of like, what do you think? Because I'm a man, I don't get targeted? Just because I act like all these guys are my friends and it's bro code and all this? I don't like them. They're messing with me too. They're not just messing with you women, they're messing with me too. What about me? I gotta be strong. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this battle of the sexes. And then the empath, because you're a giver, you feel like you're not trying to control anybody, but you are in a sense, because you're so stubborn. You're trying to control them by saying, look, I'm going to give you gifts. I'm going to do this. And that's kind of like what our narcissistic parents do to us. It's like they will buy us, right? They will buy us. And then when there's an emotional need or something, they're not there. So there's certain things that you know, how the narcissist, the lack of accountability, will like point the finger at the narcissist, like all the stuff that they did to us. But then we don't want to take accountability of our actions, because at the end of the day, everyone has choices. So the choices that we made, sometimes we'll look at it like, we'll feel like our choice got taken away from us, or we feel like, well, if I would have never met this person, I would have never made these choices. Or if the narcissist knew that they weren't good for me, why couldn't they just leave me alone? Because if they had left me alone, none of this bad stuff would have happened to me. And then you realize that there was a certain lack, a level of this lack of intelligence right there, right? Just like when you're trying to figure out information about the narcissist, or you're trying to heal, you'll skip certain videos because you think, certain videos, oh, that's not really useful. The title isn't really, it's not really what I want to hear today. It's like you're so stubborn, you only want to hear certain things because those are the things that you feel like you have an understanding about. So that's what you're aiming for. You're like, oh yeah, that's what I want to talk about, because that's one of the main things I think about. This is why a lot of narcissistic channels grow quicker. Certain narcissistic channels grow quicker because they're giving you titles, information of what you want to hear. And me, I feel like my channel is more like a book of like the real shit. If you want to get down to the, you're always going to find information where you're going to have to go back, even if you don't want to hear certain things. So I know that certain topics, people aren't going to want to hear them, but later on they might go through something. They're like, oh man, I'm gonna force myself to hear this, because now it's like watching a movie. You're skipping certain parts don't make sense. And then when you gather a certain level of intelligence, you'll watch the movie again and you're like, how the hell I missed that? And that's because information is very powerful. Knowledge is very powerful, because you can have a whole different perspective to something, or to what the narcissist did to you, or the choices you made, or the choices that were basically made for you according to your upbringing, and the people that weren't able to give you what you wanted because of their level of intelligence. Like my mother is very stubborn. And when I realized how stubborn I could be too, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like people are telling you, leave the narcissist, and you're just stubborn. Like you don't want to leave. Like your whole world is breaking apart. And you're so caught up in your emotions that the truth doesn't even matter. The fact that they're cheating on you doesn't matter. The fact that they had a life before you, have children, have all that stuff doesn't matter. The fact when the truth starts to come to light, even though they lied to you, the truth should set you free, right? But you don't even get set free. You keep holding on. So I realize, like how disgusting it is to just be stubborn, because then when you're stubborn, you will make excuses. You'll be like, oh, well, I didn't do this because of this or that, or when you say certain things, it triggers the narcissist. This is why it's the battle of the sexes, because this is another thing that I realized. It's certain things that I feel like I can't do, or I feel uncomfortable doing as a woman, right? And I remember this guy or whatever, he's like, his expression, right, was kind of like, oh, here you go, bitch. Like he's heard this many times before. Like, oh, here women always use the fact that they're a woman to cover up their tracks. Like, here we go. Women always do that. I hate when women do this. Oh, you're that type. You're that type. You want to use your femininity as an excuse, or you know what I'm saying? Or you're just because you're a girl, you get to cry and vent, and I don't get to express myself. And you're kind of like looking at the narcissist like, you're always expressing yourself. What do you mean? And they're looking at you like, no, you're the one that's always expressing yourself, because certain things you might do or say, and you don't even think that that's gonna bother them because you feel like they should want to protect you. So when you have the mentality of I should, you should protect me, the narcissist doesn't want to be told that. They feel like that's masculine for you to tell them that. They feel like, you shouldn't have to tell them what you want. You should feel like you deserve those things automatically when you're telling them. It's like, to them, it's like, oh, you're trying to have me feel a pity party. You're trying to categorize me. They start to become in battle with you. Like, oh, you think I should be a protector? Oh, you're going to go along with what society's saying? No, I should be a protector because, not just because I'm a man, but because I trust you enough to sleep with you, or because, I want to do that for you and you want to do that for me. When they start listening to things that are created by society, it makes them mad, because you could sit there and tell them like, oh, well, you don't understand, because I get hit on all day because I'm a woman. And even if I don't get hit on, men will still naturally start talking to me and sometimes cross the line, and sometimes even like try to like embarrass me or humiliate me, or like, force themselves on me, or put this image of who they think I am, or just whatever the case, right? They'll say certain things, and with the narcissist, they feel like, oh, you can say, you're afraid as a woman because men, target you all day. But the same men that you say target you, they target me too, because narcissists target everyone, men and women. Narcissists don't care. Some of them even swing both ways. So certain men will feel offended. And I'm like, you could say they're a narcissist. You could, as a woman, and then if you say they're a narcissist, that's going to piss them off even more, because they're like, oh, now I'm a narcissist. But you're saying that, the same men that are messing with you, you think they don't mess with me because I'm a man. That's stupid. That's dumb. Here you go with this feminist stuff. Those same men are attacking me. I want to advance myself in my career, and they're acting super homo. They're acting like I gotta do stuff to make it to the next level with them. And I thought we were just bros and doing business, and now they got me cornered in, and they're flashing all this money in front of me, and they already know I've invested so much time and energy, and I don't have time and energy now to go and get some money really quick. They cornered me in, making me put my all into this investment with them. Like they own me, like they control me, having me suck up to them. I don't want to suck up to them. That's not being a man. That's sucking up to them. That's not being a man. But you want me to be a man, huh? You don't know what's going on. It's like this battle of the sexes. And then you'll sit there, oh, but a man can overpower me. And then to them, that's funny. They're like, oh, a man can overpower you? Shoot, some women, they beat up men. And sometimes, the narcissist will have feminine energy. The empath can have masculine energy. The narcissist has that feminine energy from their mother, or sometimes the empath might be masculine because she didn't have a father, so she had to fight. She had to protect herself. She had to go back and forth. She didn't have nobody to call to come and protect her. So she wants that protection from the narcissist. And the narcissist is like, I see what you're trying to do. I'm not going to save you. I'm just as broken as you. You're too masculine. You're too this. They don't respect that you're the breadwinner. You're doing all this, that, because you're not depending on anyone. While they're looking to marry someone more feminine, they're battling with you. They're like, they're with you, but they're not with you. This is why a lot of narcissists, they'll get in serious relationships and even marry the next person, because to them, it's like they're learning stuff through you, you're learning stuff through them. It's battle of the sexes. And when they feel like, they get with someone who's more feminine, or they had a father in their life, this is why they target certain type of supplies, because they feel like you're stubborn and you're not going to be able to see through their bullshit. Not saying you're a bad person, but sometimes we are just stubborn, and the narcissist will take advantage of that. You're learning at your own pace, but sometimes people are giving you tools, and then you don't want to take the tools because you want to be so independent, right? You want to be so independent, and the narcissist will go after someone who's not even independent, right? And take care of them. And let that person be feminine, and they'll waste all this time with you gathering information. And by the time you figure it out, it's too late. And they'll tell you it's too late because, they already knew what was coming, how things were going to play out. Because, the narcissists, they're just as stubborn, but in different ways. Because you don't even know that you're battling against this person, and they actually know, so they got one up on you, and they feel like they should because they're a man, so they want to use the man role when they feel like it. And that's where it becomes battle of the sexes, because they're always going to think that they're right because they feel like they know more than you. As a woman, they feel like they know more than you. They've been exposed to more than you. They've been exposed to things in the man's world that you don't have a clue. You only see things from your perspective as a woman, and then you want the man to understand your perspective, And this isn't saying that what the narcissist did to you was okay, because it really wasn't. That was petty as hell. It was petty, for real. But what I will say is that when you're looking at things like, from one way, because you're stubborn, you don't want to look at things from different ways. It can really affect you as an empath, because you will feel like you're being attacked when someone might be telling you the truth. And the reason you're afraid of the truth is because someone's been telling you a lie for so long, So you could tell the narcissist, I'm afraid of, men are stronger. They're like, it's a lot of women that beat up men. I don't want to hear that. It's men that's getting whooped by women. And you don't really think like stuff like that really happens. You're like, nuh-uh. Is men really getting beat up by women out here? It's men that really get beat up by women out here. And not just physically, mentally. That's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That's really messed up. When a woman feels like she could just overstep your boundaries, emasculate you, and at the same time act like she's so feminine because everybody else is being fooled by it. Being fooled by the physical. So I realized that you could sit here and you could assume someone's a narcissist and be like, man, he doesn't have compassion for me because I'm a woman. He doesn't understand, like, I'm a target. It's a lot of people stronger than me. And this person will just look at you like it's women that do the same. It's women that, aren't scared of men and things like that. And when a man does not allow you or understand your position, as a woman, it just goes to show what type of person you're dealing with. You know, if they're sitting here saying, oh, well, that's no excuse, I would do it, I could do it. This attitude about them, like, I could do it. And a lot of times they're not direct about what they want to tell you. They're throwing you subliminals, very catty. They have very catty behavior. They're throwing you subliminals about things instead of being direct with you. And I think that's what keeps you fighting with them, because they're throwing you little attacks, and you're analyzing each attack, and you're like, why would they say this? Why would they say that? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So, when it comes to battle of the sexes, there's certain narcissists that they just don't believe that they're narcissists. They feel like they had it rough. They feel like, at a young age, I was told to man up while you got to live the fairy tale land. There's a lot of hate, a lot of resentment. They feel like, they feel like they're battling with you. Like I said in the last video, the narcissist feels like if they battle with you, they like to fight, and they'll go down to the lowest of the low. How low can you go? How low can you go? They'll go really, really low. I told you they got their knees and their knees and their ankles on the floor, their back on the floor, and they're going as low as they can go. They're not even shaking. They're jumping, they're hopping like little grasshoppers. Shrugging their shoulders and smiling while they're doing it too, while they're rolling in the mud. Thinking everything is a joke, everything is funny. And you see the immaturity, you see the kid, the child. And it's childish to hold on to a narcissist. That's why you have to put your childish ways behind. You have to be like a child. You have to keep your mouth shut. You have to analyze the conversations you're having and the codependency and the things that will turn people off. Because that was the hardest part, not only to accept that you have choices, but that you made the wrong choices, and you can't kick yourself. You can't kick yourself because of the things that you just didn't know. All you could do is do better and learn and work on those things, right? So it's battle of the sexes, because constantly each sex is judging each other in many different ways. And that's how society created it to be, so that it can be this confusion. And men can feel like, oh, I got the heads up. I was taught to be a man, to get out of that fairy tale story. You've been in fairy tale land. Because if I went really low with you, how low can you go? And we were out on the streets, you would be selling your body, and I would be broke, going crazy, looking for supply on the street that is willing to share with me. And I'll offer that woman protection. Now they know that their role in a woman's life is important, because she'll give you supply if you protect her from all the other men that want to destroy her while she's trying to get that supply. So they will take care of that person like a priority, because they'll sacrifice themselves for that woman, because they know that without her they would be nothing. They would be nothing. What she did for that person when they didn't have anything, she did more than any man on them streets could have done for him. And while he's protecting her, even if he's using her, she's getting some type of protection from all these other men that don't want to see her win at all, because they're mad that the narcissist has you. The other men on the street that can't sling no dingling are mad at the narcissist that's with the empath that they drag down to hell. They're mad. Don't you see the narcissist friends and stuff? They be mad. They even try to tell you the truth about the narcissist. How low can you go? It just depends on how low you can go. So a woman has her value and is beneficial, but at the end of the day, it's a team effort. And the problem with people is that they're always in battle with one another. The battle of the sexes. The narcissist is in the battle of the sexes with women, and they try to figure out how to keep women around, how to use them, but not be grateful for their power, for their creation. They're not grateful. They're ungrateful. They're the most ungrateful, right? Also, you know, when you start to understand that dynamic as a woman, you'll also understand your power. It gets scary out here, you know, because you got these men that will act like you don't go through it as a woman, like you have it easy because you can get shit out of men. But the same men you can get shit out of will also put your life in danger. So it's not good for a woman to be out here dealing with different men. And it's not good, for women to put themselves in that position, because they might not be able to get out of that. And, now that's what you're known for. And now even more men want to destroy you. And now you're not, most men won't feel like you're worth protecting. They'll protect you and then leave you unprotected. They'll protect, and they won't even really protect you. They'll just stand there and look stupid. They'll allow other people, their friends, family, to disrespect you, and they'll just stand there dumb. And there's not even no use to having them around because they're not even protecting you. They're just like a doll right there. Little Ken doll just standing there. Not making no move, not talking, just smiling. Little Ken doll right next to you. Plastic as hell. So that's where a lot of the hate, the narcissist always feels like they're going to need women, they're going to need people, they're going to need supply. And that's why, they go from supply to supply. It's battle of the sexes. They're never really there for you. They're just getting supply. They're not really there to protect you. They're not really there. These aren't people that you're going to want to deal with in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Some of them will try to befriend you. But even when they befriend you, what the hell, what's the point on being your friend? There's nothing that they will do for you, that they didn't do when they were with you. And even if they were to do it, it's like, it'd be hard to even accept anything because they'll be like, damn, well, when I was with you, I wasn't being protected at all. You weren't doing nothing for me. And then now as a friend, they try to act like they're there for you, but they really just want supply. They want sex. They want something. They're not genuinely going to be there for you because they understand your value. And that's why it's battle of the sexes. You can't be around men that want to battle with you, or they don't want to understand your perspective, or they feel like, because you're confident, you're tough, you're independent, they start looking at you like you're masculine, they start looking at you like, you don't need protection. That mouth of yours, that mouth of yours is sharp. You have a sharp mouth. You have a sharp tongue. And the more they mess with you because you have a sharp tongue, you can tell a man off. You could tell him to back up off. You could do a lot of talking. But you know what? With narcissistic men and things like that, the best you could do, instead of telling them, oh, leave me alone, don't do this to me, or I don't want to talk to you, or telling them things, I have a man, whatever, telling, oh, I don't want to talk to you, or whatever the hell, right? When these people attack you, when these men attack you, you can't have a sharp tongue with them. You can't, even if they disrespect you, you can't have a sharp tongue with them, because they're looking to fight with you. They're looking to get into battle with you. They're mad. For real, for real. They're mad. You're putting your life, you're putting yourself in danger, you know? So when you get around these people, it's best to just actually ignore them. It's better to not say anything or lie. I'm married. And then after that, they're probably going to still keep talking to you, and you just ignore them. Or just ignore them completely, like you didn't hear anything. You know, put your ear pod on. Because a lot of these narcissists are angry. They're upset. They don't like all that women empowerment. They don't like all that, you know, women, you know, acting like you got to be their slave. They don't like none of that. They're in battle with you. They're you know, they will never look at you as an equal, you know, and, you know, as an equal, it doesn't mean that you pay half the bills, they pay half the bills. It means that they know your value, your position, and your role as a woman, and they know that they have their own role to play. And as a woman, a lot of times, you know, the narcissist doesn't want to protect you. So that's why there's certain men who, they know your value. They know how important it is to protect you, because you have to protect the children, and they have to go and deal with these narcissist men, because, you know, you're living in your femininity, you know, you're living in your femininity, and they're going to allow you to have that essence, because they won't have to battle with you, you know, they can protect you. So the narcissist battles with empaths a lot of times, because the empath is very stubborn. You know, you don't want to accept your role, your position, and you sometimes you think you know everything, and you avoid certain conversations, certain subjects, and like I said, constructive criticism can even trigger your traumas. And this is why the narcissist criticizes you all the time. This is why they nitpick at you. This is why they'll say things about you, or how you're dressing, or how you look, or your makeup. They're constantly criticizing you, because they know that that's the main issue the empath deals with. And a lot of times the empath won't want to accept certain things, and people will even look at the empath like the narcissist. So sometimes I've had conversations with people that I care about, and when shit starts getting real, I already know they're going to turn on me like Judas, and I be telling them, like, you're going to end up turning on me. You're going to start acting like I'm the narcissist, and then they'll turn on me, and then later on, they feel awful about their behavior, because I still gave them love. I showed them love, and they know a narcissist wouldn't do that. A narcissist would want to keep going in battle with them, so they'll even apologize, and, you know, and then they learn a lesson that when you do that to the wrong person, you might lose that person forever. Those are all lessons, you know. So sometimes you're battling with people that are just giving you the truth, and that's just what it is. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and your healing. I hope that this message was helpful for your healing. If you guys want to support my channel by booking a session with me, my booking information will be on the description. Just give me about 24 hours to respond to you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.